station, 1370 WOCA. Ocala.
About 20 minutes after 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in this Friday morning. You know, sometimes I like to come up with colorful and creative intros. I don't want to do that with this one. I just want to say one word: psoriasis.
Yeah.
Psoriasis. Because if I say that word and you relate to it, it means you or somebody you love is suffering from psoriasis. Mm-hmm. You don't need any colorful intro for this one, simply because you know now that our guest is going to talk about psoriasis. Dr. Mark Dr. Mark Jackson is our guest, as well as Laura McCraw. Dr. Jackson is a clinical professor of medicine and dermatology at the University of Louisville, Kentucky, and Laura McCraw is a current Otezla patient. We're going to see if I said that right. Diagnosed with psoriasis when she was 28, and there is a new treatment option for psoriasis that they're going to talk to us about. Is it today, Robin? No. World Psoriasis Day is October 29th.
Yes.
So it's coming up in a few days.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Mark Jackson and Laura McCraw, good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Where are you right now? Are you together?
Yes.
All right. In Louisville?
In Atlanta, actually.
Oh, in Atlanta. Okay. I guess the first question is, what is psoriasis?
It's a question that a lot of people want to really know the answer to. And psoriasis is a chronic inflammatory skin condition that bothers about 7.5 million patients in the United States and 120 million people worldwide, so very prevalent. It results in these red, scaly, thick plaques that can itch and burn, occasionally bleed. They're very tender and can be uncomfortable, but the itching is really a problem. And then they're also visible, and it's thought of in many patients to be an infectious condition or a transmissible condition. So in this day and age, and everybody worried about things that are transmissible, it's very bothersome for our psoriasis patients to have these visible lesions that people think are an infection, or at least they feel like people think it's an infection. So it's not something that is transmissible that way. It's an inflammatory, not an infectious condition.
Okay, and do they occur anywhere on the body?
Yes, it can occur anywhere there's skin. So you can imagine how difficult it would be to have those plaques all over or only in certain locations. It can still be very bothersome just with limited involvement.
Laura, am I pushing the envelope if I ask you how your condition is now? Or what is Otezla? What is that? A current Otezla. What does that mean?
What is Otezla?
Yeah.
Otezla is an oral medication that treats psoriasis.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. And I started taking it through a clinical trial 3 years ago, and I've gotten amazing results with it.
It's you take it by mouth? Is that what you said?
It is, yes. I believe it's the first oral medication that treats psoriasis.
One of the first, yes.
So where was your psoriasis, can I ask?
Well, it started right on my forehead and in the front of my hairline, but from there, through the years, it spread all over.
Did it go under your hair?
All over my scalp, yes.
All over your scalp. And was it an endless itching or something? Bleeding? What was going on?
It does itch. It does bleed. It scales up. And like I said, I had it all over my body as well over time.
What did you try before you found this?
I tried many topicals for my scalp. I tried shampoo. I even had a treatment where they used fine needles that I had put all in my forehead. That's a steroid treatment. And basically all of those would work temporarily, or most of them would work, but it was temporary. It would come right back.
And when you said that it scaled up, does that mean that your skin actually felt like it had ridges on it?
I don't know if ridges would be a good way to describe it. Could you describe that better, Dr. Jackson?
It's just, it feels like thick, dry skin, like there's just thick layers of grit on your skin and people feel like they have to pull it off to remove it because it's so visible and bothersome, but then that makes it worse.
Oh,
so
wow.
that just keeps making it thicker and thicker.
All right, I know that our listeners want to call in. I'm going to ask permission before I do that, though. Are you okay with taking calls?
Sure.
Yeah, okay, good. Good morning. Thank you for calling and waiting. You're on the air with Dr. Mark Jackson and Laura McCraw. Are you there? Okay, they disappeared. One of the questions we had this morning, I can ask on behalf of a listener who called earlier, was about, tar. Tar in shampoo or something like that. Have you ever heard of that?
I used shampoos that had that in it, yes.
Yes.
And does that work?
I just got temporary results, like many of the other treatments.
Okay, I guess the way it was explained to us is that when you go to the not convenience store, when you go to the pharmacy, that's one of the things they recommend is some tar shampoo or some tar cream or something.
I did not get ongoing results with that.
Okay, so doctor, what is the reason that Otezla makes a difference? What happens?
In our psoriasis patients, their immunity is turned up a little bit, especially in the skin. And skin trauma or irritation can induce the process of making more skin cells, which thickens the skin. And so with Otezla, it works to decrease the immunity, but not to turn it off. So our goal is to turn down the immune system a little bit in the skin so that these plaques don't develop. And that's the beauty of this versus the tar that you mentioned or the steroids or the shots, in that this medicine works to prevent the lesions from developing so that you don't have to use things on a daily basis to treat individual locations with creams and ointments and gels and coal tar, as you mentioned.
Okay. Does it compromise the rest of your immune system?
That's a great question, and that's why we do clinical trials, and we like to show safety, and we like to show both safety and efficacy in the clinical trials. And Otezla demonstrated nice safety and efficacy in the clinical trials. It doesn't turn off the immunity, it turns it down, so we don't see major issues with infections or other problems when you're on it. And I think Laura can really testify to that.
The side effects that I've had were very minimal in the beginning. I had some headaches and a little bit of nausea, and it went away quickly. And since then, over the past 3 years, I haven't had any side effects.
Are you cured, or will you have to take the medicine for the rest of your life?
That's up to my dermatologist. Right now, I'm almost 100% clear.
Yeah, man.
But I do continue to take it. All
right, the phone. We do have some calls coming in, so let me squeeze a couple of these in real quickly. Good morning. We've only got a few minutes. Thank you for calling and waiting.
Yes. Is there a hereditary factor in this disease, and can you pass it on to your kids?
All right.
Yes, there is a hereditary component in the gene. Yes, it can be passed to your children, but it's not passed to individuals by touch. So you don't spread it you don't spread it from one person to the other that way. But there is a genetic component.
Oh, that is interesting. Do you remember anybody in your family having this, Laura?
I actually investigated that, and I was not able to find anybody who had it.
Oh, wow. Do you have children?
I do.
And any of the children?
I have 3 children, and so far none of them have shown any signs of it.
Oh, that's good, yeah. All right, good morning. You're on the air. Thank you for calling.
Hey, this is Jim.
Yeah.
I had a place on the inside of one of my legs between my knee and my ankle that was hard to heal up for years and years and years. And I tried different medicines from different doctors and people that advised me what would help with that. And one of the medicines I used cost $125 for a little small 1.5-ounce tube. But the simplest thing that done the most good was a across-the-counter thing called Psoriasin, Psoriasin gel, available right in any drugstore, and it healed it up within 4 weeks.
Wow. Okay.
Gosh.
Well, thank you for that. Let me ask you, Doctor, is psoriasis and eczema similar? Because they're always mentioned in the same breath.
They can look very similar, but they behave in different ways. We usually see eczema start at an earlier time. We usually see that from infancy or in the first year of life, and it gradually improves with time. People have a tendency to maintain a sensitive skin over their lifetime, but it tends to improve with time, whereas psoriasis usually starts a little bit later and it can worsen with time. And they show up in different areas, and psoriasis tends to be a little more uncomfortable, and the plaques are a little thicker and more bothersome.
Okay, and so the gentleman who just called probably had psoriasis and not eczema, the way you just described it.
He could have had a little eczema, and those are perfect instances where topical treatments can be fine, and to use on a local area, creams and certain, even certain over-the-counter agents are great. But when you have it over widespread areas of your body, it's hard to be able to do that twice a day to control the condition, which is why our new option is nice to prevent those lesions from developing.
We have less than a minute. Can you give us a website or information so we can talk to our doctors?
You can go to Otezla.com if you want more information on the medicine that Laura's been taking. The other option is if patients just want to research psoriasis in general, you can go to the National Psoriasis Foundation website at psoriasis.org, or as I usually just say, I encourage patients to see their dermatologist to make a specific diagnosis.
Okay, and for the listeners, Otezla is spelled Otezla. So Otezla.com is the website. Dr. Mark Jackson and Laura McCraw, thank you so much for being on the air with us today. I'm glad you're doing well, Laura. Thank you for allowing us to pry into your life a little bit.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think you've helped a lot of people, by the way.
I think so.
All right, we will take a little break. We'll be right back.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. Dallas nurse Nina Pham is now virus-free, according to health officials who say she will be discharged from the NIH Clinical Center, where she is being treated for Ebola. Meanwhile, details on Dr. Craig Spencer, New York City's first Ebola patient. He's now being treated at Bellevue Hospital.
He was brought here yesterday morning after developing a fever and gastrointestinal symptoms. Spencer was working in Guinea with Doctors Without Borders, who says he followed their protocols when he returned to the U.S. last week. His fiancée and 2 others have been quarantined as a precaution.
Fox Radio's Tanya J. Powers at Bellevue Hospital. The World Health Organization says millions of doses of 2 experimental vaccines could be ready next year. And police in New York City say an officer who suffered a serious head wound after being attacked with a hatchet remains in critical but stable condition. Fox News, we report, you decide.
You use the motor oil Dad used, and he uses what Granddad used, yet no one uses what Great-Granddad used, because whale oil is illegal. But if oil's what you need, Napa has you covered. With Castrol GTX for only $3.79 a quart, or 5 quarts in a Napa Silver filter for just $21.99. No harpoons needed. Conquer the job with Napa Know-How. General state pricing. Sales prices do not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. At participating Napa Auto Parts stores. Offer expires 11/16/14.
Pete's Parrot Emporium.
Pete? Pete?
How may I help you?
Help! Help!
Be quiet.
Quiet! Quiet! Quiet!
Silence.
Silence!
If only everything in business was as easy as Wix. Wix's drag-and-drop website builder makes it simple to create your stunning website yourself. Just choose a design from hundreds of beautiful Wix templates and customize it however you want. Go to Wix.com today. It's easy and free.
Wix.com.
Are you wasting hundreds or thousands of dollars on termite retreat fees? If you're not with Turner Pest Control, you probably are. Turner Pest Control offers the industry's only termite and pest control package that never charges retreat fees, ever. You can get started today for only $99. This is a value of $500 or more. This includes treatments, installation of monitoring stations, quarterly pest control, and a lifetime guarantee, all for an unbelievable low $99. Even if you have another pest control provider, visit turnerpest.com to find out how you can avoid paying those high termite retreat fees.
Hi, my name is Dr. Erica Olstein with A Better You Healthcare Acupuncture and Eastern Medicine. As primary care physicians, we use acupuncture to treat back pain, arthritis, migraines, allergies, high blood pressure, thyroid disorders, hormone imbalances, stress, and more using all natural medical therapies. We treat the source of your problems, not just your symptoms. For more information, go to abetteryouhealthcare.com or call today to set up your appointment. 352-615-5566.
Here are today's headlines from the source, WOCA. The Ocala Police Department is reporting that an Ocala elementary teacher who had agreed to surrender to police on child sex charges committed suicide on Wednesday. The teacher, identified as 52-year-old Joel K. Taylor, taught 3rd grade at First Assembly of God Church School. The sexual assault allegations stem from information gathered by detectives on October 13th when an investigator went to Monroe Regional Medical Center and interviewed a 12-year-old girl who said she attempted to overdose on pills because Taylor had allegedly been molesting her since she was 7 years old. The report states that Taylor shot himself once in the chest in the backyard of a home at 2312 Southeast 24th Avenue in the Woodland Villages subdivision. The nationwide outbreak of enterovirus D68 has reached north central Florida. Both cases were in children only, identified as a 10-year-old in Alachua County and a 5-year-old in Columbia County. No other specific information was given except for the fact that both cases happened in late September and were treated at Shands Hospital at the University of Florida in Gainesville. Health officials warn to not confuse the much milder enterovirus with the Ebola virus. Testing for enterovirus takes a couple of weeks to confirm and often is confirmed after a patient has already recovered from the virus. Both children recovered and are back home now. Although being downplayed, enterovirus D68 has been linked to 7 deaths in the country, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The Reuters news service is reporting that 2 recent lawsuits over defective Takata airbags have come out of Florida, with one filed by 26-year-old Corey Burdick of Eustis, who was injured in a May 29th accident while driving his 2001 Honda Civic in Eustis. The lawsuit, which is seeking damages above $15,000, said shards of metal were propelled through the airbag's fabric and struck Corey Burdick in the eye, resulting in disfigurement, impaired vision, and other severe permanent injuries. The Orlando-based personal injury firm of Newsom Melton is representing Burdick. The U.S. government this week issued an urgent plea to more than 4.7 million people to get the airbags in their cars fixed, amid concern that a defect in the devices can possibly kill or injure the driver or passengers. Ocala's newest Publix supermarket is scheduled to open on Saturday, November 1st. The new store is across from Trinity Catholic High School at the corner of Southwest 42nd Street and Southwest 27th Avenue. The shopping center that Publix will anchor is called the Grand Oaks Shopping Center and is a relocation for the store currently on Southwest College Road next to the Paddock Mall. Publix Supermarkets Incorporated is on an apparent buying spree of Florida shopping centers. The Lakeland-based grocer in recent weeks has closed on 2 centers in the Orlando area, the $14.3 million acquisition of East Town Center in Claremont and a $24.8 million buy in Winter Park, according to the Orlando Business Journal. In South Florida, Publix acquired Doral Isles Plaza for $26.2 million last week, according to the South Florida Business Journal. Publix has owned centers it anchors for years, but it started picking up more centers in 2013. As landlord, Publix gets to control the tenant mix of the shopping center, and that is key as Publix and its competitors focus heavily on the fast-growing prepared food segment of the grocery business. Also, as landlord, Publix can decide which food concepts it will allow in its center and keep out any potential competitors. Analysts say that's a smart position for Publix to take, as retail developers say that restaurants are becoming secondary anchors in most retail centers. And those are the headlines from The Source, WOCA 96.3 FM and 1370 AM.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. A gorgeous day today with lots of sunshine, the high 77 to 81. And tonight, clear to partly cloudy with lows ranging from the mid to upper 50s across the interior to the mid and upper 60s on the beaches. For tomorrow, mostly sunny day, high 78 to 82. And for Sunday, plenty of sunshine, high 80 to 84. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Check this out.
New shows? Check. Check. Some new talent? Check. The same great sports talk? I'm seeing it right now. Wrong. Wrong again? Wrong. It's better.
There are so many great things going on in sports.
We gotta get it. We gotta get it. From our mics.
Test.
To your ears.
The latest update we got is...
Today in Florida Ag News, I'm a Southeast AgNet. The Produce Marketing Association's Fresh Summit took place this week in Anaheim, California, and included folks from all over the world, including those involved with the Fresh from Florida marketing team. Gary Cooper was also there and has this report.
When it comes to putting farmers and their produce marketers together with buyers and others in the food marketing chain these days, there's no other event like the Produce Marketing Association's huge annual Fresh Summit, which puts the latest in produce and floral production all in one place for all to see, taste, and do business about together. PMA CEO Brian Silberman.
It's about buyers at all levels. Some of the farmers are buying products and services from the input suppliers. You've got supermarket representatives from all over the world, from China, from Australia, from Brazil, across the United States. This is really a buyer and seller's paradise.
When you think about your fresh shows from years past, many years past, go back a decade, this thing's changing a lot rapidly. It's all changed now. It's really big business, and the farmers themselves getting a lot more involved in their own selling, aren't they?
Oh, absolutely. The direct between buyer and supplier, grower, is a huge part of this business. It's even gotten to the point of long-term contracts for some items, like bananas and potatoes and so forth, where there are long-term contracts between buyers and sellers. So the middleman is being squeezed, but at the same time, people in the middle have become value-added service providers. So much more integration across the value chain.
Hear the entire interview at southeastagnet.com. I'm